listening to the Pro Wrestling Post podcast with Mark Madison. In this episode, Mark talks to Elijah Burke, also known as D'Angelo Dinero. Go to www.prowrestlingpost.com for interviews, blogs, reviews, and upcoming events in your area. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Anchor, or whatever podcast app you prefer. And now, here's Mark and Elijah.
Talk a little bit about the idea of your transitioning from amateur boxing to wrestling. How did that come about?
Well, the transition from my amateur boxing background to wrestling was not that much of a hard transition as far as showmanship and the entertainment aspect of it goes, the entertainment aspect. That wasn't a hard transition at all because that was my main reasoning for boxing, was just to entertain. Mm-hmm. Of course, I trained and did as much as I could to become a well boxer of good proportion, if you will, to hold myself in the ring. But I was more of a tough man guy. I was more of a brawler, a slugger. I grew up fighting, so the boxing part wasn't as hard either. But my main concern was the fulfillment of that burning desire in me to entertain the masses. So that wasn't a problem in the transition into the wrestling. However, the only part that was indeed somewhat of a challenge was the restricting of actual throwing punches. Because when I would throw my punches or whatnot, I would have a hard time, as we call it, pulling it back or whatnot. So that was my main thing that I actually had to work on numerous times. Punching on the dummy. I actually learned how to throw my first wrestling punch from Jim Cornette in Ohio Valley Wrestling. And one of the ways that I learned how to throw safe punches in the wrestling ring without having a legit, force or blow behind it to injure my opponent in the ring was I would use a light bulb that would hang in a distance, and I would do my best to hit that light bulb without damaging it, without breaking it, without moving it. So if I could throw a good enough punch to a light bulb without, causing it to shatter, then I think that's pretty good. And that, of course, as time went on, I became more comfortable with it, and then I was able to incorporate my actual boxing strikes in the ring and be safe with it.
Fantastic. During your initial training with OVW, you developed your character both in the ring and on the mic. Who would you attribute as being the most supportive during your early development there?
Again, Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette. Yeah, Jim Cornette and Danny Davis, the grandfather, the wizard of OVW, if you will. Those two were very helpful in helping me to develop my character, which was essentially just, Jim Cornette, hey, Elijah, go out there and be you, just do what you do, the people love you, and that's basically what it was. Microphone, on the mic, gift to gab, if you will, gift to rap, if you will. That came along with the whole package of Elijah because that's something that I've always done. That's neither here or there as far as someone contributing. If that goes to anyone as far as a nod in their hat, then it goes to my pastor, Willie McGoodman, from down home, southern Jacksonville, Florida, where I grew up in church. And that's where all that came from, the gift of gab and being able to talk on the mic and be comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. But if there was emotion and allow it to manifest into something more with the viewing audience, those that were listening, then of course that goes to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, who I had the privilege and the honor of working with, my childhood idol, during my time in OVW as well as ECW, and so definitely Dusty. And when I would cut my promos, speaking of developmental, but right after I went up, Dusty came down and Dusty saw me and I went ready to introduce myself, and he stopped me mid-stride. He said, "I already know about you, Daddy. Then you and I, we're going to have some fun." I would do my promos. Yeah, it was awesome, man. When I would do my promos with Dusty, he just, they had script, and this is what I love about the Dream so much. And so he believed in me so much that he would take the script or whatever they wanted me to say, he'd turn it down. He said, "You just do what you're going to do, Daddy. You let me deal with Stephanie and Vince. You just say what you're going to say." And that was just so awesome because he believed in me that much, and he knew that I could take what they wanted me to do, put it in my own words, and hit a home run with it. And that's what we would do all the time.
Fans' early acknowledgement of your time in the WWE was alongside Sylvester Turkey. Describe the experience, what you may or may have not liked about it, what you might have changed, maybe not.
It's Turkey, Daddy.
Oh, my. Okay, you put me in my place.
Well, that was very interesting for me. It was my call-up, obviously. And I'll throw you in an added bonus, whether you're going to ask this or not. I'll throw it in there for you. As you know, there was a call-up for the Spirit Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, always are so, struck by why I didn't take that call-up. I won't go into details on it right now because you didn't ask us the question, and I will. But simply put, I turned it down, and it said, "Hey, we'll get you back up when we got something for you." And lo and behold, they brought me up with Sylvester, and this time I'm coming up instead of a wrestler, as a mouthpiece. And I assumed that was going to be the same role to an extent that I was going to have in the Spirit Squad as well. But they brought me up to be in charge of this beast who they were going to push. He was a legit, much like myself, boxer. He was a legit MMA guy. He had several MMA matchups. This sport got as big as it is right now. And Turkey was a monster, but he was a gentle monster. And to a fault, he was almost a naive monster as well, which, may be unfair to say, but he simply was. And so the experience for me at that time was I was being, as a rookie, as someone whose first time in the business, I was being the advocate. Mm-hmm. Literally, I was being the advocate for him in our tag team that we had to smooth things over that may have went over rough, that may have not been received well by the boys or whatnot. But he was generally well liked, and I enjoyed it. I was like this. They were grooming Turkey for Undertaker. And so I'm like, hey, man, let's do whatever we got to do to make this happen because you're going to work a program with Undertaker. He's trying to take you to Mania. They always had to have a big man for Taker. So they were grooming Turkey for Taker, but he had so many different folk in his ear when it came to how to get him over. And with his MMA background, that he was just confused. And a lot of this stuff, that if it looked like it hurt, it actually hurt. Mm-hmm. So that kind of like hurt things in that aspect. So therefore, I was put in this place, having my first match with in the place of him against Rey Mysterio Jr., outside until the ECW kicked off. We did a couple of matches as a tag team, and then that was it.
Moving forward a little bit, the New Breed was a faction that brought new and younger talent out there as part of the ECW brand. How did that experience help you to grow and develop?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
There?
Yep. Sorry, did you hear my question? Hello? Elijah?
Hello?
Hello, Elijah? Hello? Elijah? Hello? Hello? Hello?
I think he might have disconnected. Just 1 second.
Not a problem. Thanks for staying there, love.
Oh, that's no problem. Hold on 1 second.
Not a problem.
Are we there?
Yep. Elijah?
All right, what happened? Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay. I think you finished off your last statement. I think we're just trying to move to the next one.
Yeah, you were asking about the New Breed.
Yes. So the New Breed was a faction that brought new and younger talent to the forefront. Now, how did that experience help you to grow and develop?
That was the most confident building experience that a guy in my position at that time could have. One, because Vince himself was behind the Elijah Burke movement at that time, if you will. Came out there. I mean, just out of the blue, I had no idea that any of that was about to transpire with myself and the whole ECW originals thing and being called the new face of the stream or whatever it was. But it did so much because it was like, holy crap, I got the boss deeming me the new face of ECW. So it's like, it's put up right now, it's shut up. It's like everything that I work for, everything that I've ever dreamed of doing or being, well, here's my opportunity, and I got to go out there every night and just do the darn thing, Daddy. Just do it. And that's what happened. I mean, when you're in there going against former world champions, first time, and the only guy to hold the WWE and ECW title at the same time, Rob Van Dam, who has done it all, wrestled all, and you got this rookie in there going against him. Oh man, it was everything that someone who was new to the business could probably hope to have, to say, either I'm going to soar like an eagle in these matchups, or I'm going to crash and burn.
Right.
So that's essentially where I was. Because again, there were nights that I went out there that I had no idea that I was going to be wrestling a Tommy Dreamer. Like number 3 on my list of most influential people as far as Elijah is concerned when it comes to this business. Tommy Dreamer and getting there with Sabu and people like, at such a young age and then new to the business, I was actually being able to put in the position to lead as well. I remember I was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And heels generally lead the matches. Obviously, I was young, but these guys say, okay, what do you want to do? And what did you see? What do you think and whatnot? And wrestling with a Sandman or Balls Mahoney, that stuff really wasn't hard at all because they were down for whatever I wanted to do. So it was just really a great experience to be in there with everybody that I was in the ring with at that time,
Yeah. Maybe you can clarify something for me. I believe from what I read, unless I've missed it myself, because not necessarily catching everything, the Black Pope character debuted in the WWE?
The Black Pope character was something that never got going in WWE.
So it didn't even have legs?
No, it never got legs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was something that I came up with, and I did it in the Staples Center, Los Angeles Staples Center. I believe that's the center. We was at Los Angeles Staples Center, I believe. I came out there and I did it in a dark match against Funaki.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I show up that day, hey, do your Black Pope thing, and it was just like that. I'm like, wait a minute, no one told me. I don't even have any clothes. I don't have any outfit. So, yeah, so that was something that we did, and it never got off the ground. That was it. I was sitting on the sidelines. I had nothing to do. Nobody knew what was going on. We had a shuffle of the writers during that time for SmackDown, ECW to Raw. I mean, everything was being switched up so much that I just kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I thought I'd come up with a new character to keep myself new and fresh.
Okay, so this is part of that twofold question because is D'Angelo Dinero, was it everything you had hoped the Black Pope was initially going to be when you tried it out?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's the thing about the whole Pope D'Angelo Dinero thing. Up north with the WWE, of course, you normally have to, go with the flow, even if it's an idea of yours, and you believe in it, and you see where you want to go with it, and you know where it can go. If creative gets a hold of it, and they say they like the idea, but they got to put their own spin on it, their own touch on it, they do it this way or that way, then it becomes sort of jaded or whatnot. When D'Angelo Dinero came about, it was simply pro. And I got to give Russo his credit. Pro. They were going to bring me in as Elijah Burke. Here I go again. Pro. You have to do that, bro. You have to be the Pope, bro. That's money. And I got the name for it, bro. D'Angelo Dinero. Dinero means money. So D'Angelo Dinero was Russo's pick for the name, which I agreed to, and obviously the Pope was my thing. And so it was everything, is everything, I should say, to this day, because I was allowed to do and fulfill the vision that I had with my character.
Right. During your initial run with TNA as the Pope, you engaged in a number of solid feuds. Which ones were you most proud of, and which would you have liked to have maybe seen fleshed out a little more and really developed, but just for whatever reason didn't happen?
I was most proud, obviously, of my feud with AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Again, much like to my beginning experience in ECW, WWE. My first match at WWE, out of the blue, Turkey's not wrestling Rey Mysterio, we're putting you in there. Had no idea I was going to wrestle Rey Mysterio. So here I am in there with Rey Mysterio, then I'm in there with Tatanka, and and then Vito, and I'm wrestling all these legendary guys in my eyes whom I grew up watching, and I'm in the ring with them. So much like in TNA, we're watching TNA while we're on WWE TV or we're touring or whatever. I mean, that's what we do. You love the business, you watch it all. So, you watch AJ Styles, a phenomenal one. He's talented at being phenomenal. He is phenomenal. driven as well. So the being the character that I am, Pope, in there with the phenomenal AJ, it was magic, and I was almost proud of that match, that feud rather, AJ Styles being involved with, again, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Ric Flair. But it was just great. Leading up to lockdown and that whole thing. One of the ones I wish could have played out a little bit better, which I also enjoyed, but I wish could have played out a little bit better, was with Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. We got thrown together at a whim for no reason, not much build up. Every time we had a match, it was just we were put on the. It was almost like we were an afterthought. Even though we did stuff in segments, I got the highest rated segment on Impact. For instance, what's the thing that they do in Samoa where they have the whole pig and all that in the ring, and if Samoa Joe comes out to the ring, we had a live, real, hot roasted pig on the table with an apple in it. Yeah, seriously. I mean, it was. I don't understand who thought of this, but it was straight out of the oven. Who does that? Was it necessary? There's people at home that don't even believe that it was hot. It burned me tremendously when Samoa Joe came out and muscle busted me through that table. And that pig fell on me, man, and it was burning my skin, literally. So, but yeah, and again, our feud went all the way to lockdown. Again, we had a great match. I just wish our stuff could have played out and had a little more thought and detail put into it. But I definitely enjoyed those feuds the most.
Now, you went back to OVW, and even though the affiliation with the WWE and now TNA, it was different, you're now a veteran. How was that second time around? How did that experience? You're the veteran. You're more in a role of a mentorship. How did you find that experience as opposed to initially?
Okay, I'm going to back up for a second because I left out an integral part in your last question.
Oh, okay.
I feud with TNA, and then you can come back and ask that question.
Okay, sure.
I don't know how in the world Pope could have forgot about suicide, Eddie, okay?
Oh, well.
Suicide. I mean, suicide. That was, again, AJ being my favorite, Samoa Joe being the one that I just wish could have had more detail put to it and more attention given to it, then I could definitely say wrestling against Frankie Kazarian, okay, at Suicide was one of the most funnest experiences I had as an active competitor. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had so much fun. We were willing to do any and everything to make our matches great, memorable, the most talked about. And that match, that series of matches with Suicide is what really turned the tide and said, holy crap, Pope's a babyface. We literally turned the crowd against Pope. From being the bad guy, which they really weren't fooling me anyway, for the most part, but that's what got Pope over the top. And that, I got to give that credit to my series of showdowns with Suicide. It was just too entertaining for people to hate me. Yeah.
Fair enough.
They wanted to love Pope. Yeah, they wanted to love Pope during that, man. So thus Pope became the baby face, and that's what led on to AJ now. All right.
So, next question that we had was your return to OVW. Roles are a little bit different. Time has passed a little bit. More seasoned. How did you find the experience this time around?
Well, it wasn't really per se a return to OVW. It was more so of to OVW.
Okay.
It was more so of folks showing up, as needed to, as you mentioned, WWE was no longer there. TNA had pulled out as well, I believe. So this was something of, hey, I want to come in. If Danny Davis needs or wants folks to appear, then I'm there for him. As long as I'm in the area, if I'm up that way, he got me. Much like he will on November the 21st of 2015. If this year before then, he had something big going on during that time, and he contacted me and asked me if I could make the event. I'll do anything for Danny Davis, as we talked about earlier. You said who played the most prominent role in crafting who Elijah Burke was, and I told you the Wizard. This is behind the curtain, Danny Davis, and obviously Jim Cornette. So anytime that Danny Davis, or there's anything I can do for OVW, to lend my name, my expertise, or my experience rather, to help out, I'm there. And so, as you mentioned, I'm more the veteran role now, and I try to do what the Nick Dinsmores did for me, what the Rob Conways did for me, what the Matt Morgan, did for me, and that's to give me advice, give me direction, and I'm just being available to all those who want it. And sadly enough, there's not enough who want it, but those who do, I try to give them that veteran advice. Again, the same thing that was given to me.
That's amazing, though, Elijah. Now, fans will be aware that, upon your return to television, you're working alongside a WWE alumni in Josh Matthews. Describe maybe some of the chemistry and how you guys have worked or developed that working relationship on commentary.
Josh is a middle-aged, grumpy old man. He's gonna kill me for that, but that's just what we do. So if that's it, anything about our relationship and the question that you asked, and that it's all good and on the up and up, and I want you to be sure to report that as well.
I will certainly.
Just like I said, it's middle-aged, grumpy old man. That's Josh Matthews. But what a lot of people don't know, and I want to talk about the chemistry in a second. What a lot of people don't know about Josh Matthews in his role, I hate to say this, so I'm not going to say it because he's really pissed off then, but he is a man that wears many hats. And I don't think he gets the credit from the IWC that he quite deserves. Not that he or I go or do look at our progress by what the IWC or anybody says. But when I speak of IWC, I just mean those comments that I see on Twitter, because that's all I know of. But I don't think he gets the credit. I see people, make their comments about him on Twitter. And Josh does so much. And honestly, he is a great individual. We built great chemistry just because we like each other, obviously. And he's the what's the word I'm looking for? He's the yin
to your yang,
and then or vice versa,
Okay.
So I mean, we just compliment each other so well. He's the straight guy. He's the play-by-play guy.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the knowledgeable guy, the historian, and all that. And all Pope has to do is let him steer the ship, and all Pope got to do is sit there and say, hey, be Pope. That's all I got to do is be Pope. And so it just works well. I don't step on his foot as far as was a match with in our World Title Series that just kicked off following Bound for Glory. There was a match between Grotto and Rockstar Spud. Obviously, Josh calls him Grado. I don't know why, but it was a match between Rockstar Spud and Grotto in the World Title Series. And when I tell you, I have watched this match so many times that I've lost count. It is the absolute truth. I cannot tell you how much, because it is so hilarious. And instead of trying to be, trying to sit there and try to call this as something of a huge, gigantic proportion and do injustice to what they were doing, because it was entertaining. It was an entertaining match with a lot of comedic spots in it. So, you call it as it is. You call it as the fans at home are viewing it. And I just like to be a fan. So when I'm calling the matches alongside Josh, I'm just a fan. And if I was sitting at home watching Grotto versus Rockstar Spud and I saw what they were doing, I would be dying laughing. So what happened when I was calling the match? Pope was dying laughing. And that's all I could do. I couldn't get up and laugh. And, after a while, Josh, he just started having fun with it, too. It was that type of matchup. It was really fun. But I love working with Josh. He's a thoughtful individual. And we love working with each other. Actually, look forward to seeing each other. Some people don't like working beside who they're with. Some people loathe who they work with. Me and Josh were brothers in the bond.
That's awesome.
Yeah, brothers in the bond, man. Go ahead.
What have you found to be, you've got the gift to gab, no doubt about it, but what have you found to be the transition from being in the ring and having to sit back and probably just more or less add color, but watching the wrestling? So how have you found that transition from more in the ring to at the booth?
When you say add color, you trying to be funny with both daddy?
Not at all.
Don't you crack whip with me, daddy. No, I'm just...
I'd like to say you add flavor, more so.
Well, no, daddy. Hell, Pope add color literally and figuratively speaking, so...
I didn't mean it like that. It just connected. I meant like color commentary, not...
It's all good.
Oh man, you got me. You got me.
But the hardest part is just what you're saying. It's sitting back calling and adding color to commentary.
Yeah.
It's just like that is the hardest part. When you're watching your brothers in the ring and you have that, that you should still be in there or you can still be in there, and you're ready to go at any second. It's just the hardest part, but I believe in being a team player. I know my role. I know what I signed up for. If I didn't want to do it, then I would have never came back in that position. I thought it was a great opportunity to expand in my wrestling career, to do new things and to understand different aspects of the business. So I love going and adding color and giving justice to the guys, my brothers that are in the ring. There's so many times that over the years I've watched commentary, listened to commentary, and sometimes the person on commentary was not doing justice to what was transpiring in the ring. So I love being there and to draw specific attention and detail to, hey, this or hey, that, check this out, or this hurts because of this. I can get my own personal experiences tied in to the color commentary that I'm giving and do the boys justice. And I don't mind doing that, playing my role. Hell, somebody got to do it, so why not Pope?
So, now I say that maybe some, I'm not going to say which promotions, but maybe other promotions, commentary, their hands are tied, and they're scripted as far as what, but do you have more allowances? Do you have more freedom to open up and be expressive, whereas others you don't think? I mean, Josh is coming from a place where he's seen how commentary was and is, and do you find you have more artistic freedom?
Oh, I mean, again, it's much like when Pope was given the mic, period. You know, and I have to just say I'm so blessed, so fortunate that over my 12-year plus career, I've never really been restricted when it comes to being on the mic. I've never been restricted. I mean, all the way back to then, I never had to stand out there and go verbiage, go over verbiage in front of Vince McMahon, and he say it like this, say it like that.
Yeah.
My bosses have always had confidence in what I would do and how I would deliver it. And even to this day, it's freedom. I mean, I'm being Pope. If you can't tell that by watching Impact, something's wrong. I am being Pope from start to finish, and I have liberty to do and say what needs to be done or how said or how I see it. It's all left up to my discretion. So I don't have anyone in my ear saying, say this, say that, say this. Of course, there are times you're going to get you may get a reminder, a buzz, or there may be something that you may have missed, or it may be something that they just want to add that you're not aware of.
Right.
That you might need to get in, and you'll get the buzz in the ear. But that's business. But the liberty and the artistic freedom, as you said, it's great.
Okay. I have like 3 last questions for you, and then I'll let you go.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And it's much like when folks said during Bobby Lashley's standing vertical souffle.
Yep.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that may not understand the throwback to what that means. You may not understand the throwback to why Pope said it or says it so much. When it comes to Lashley, that's the only time I like to use it. When it comes to Lashley standing vertical souffle, that's because I grew up on Gordon Soley. I grew up on championship wrestling,
Right.
and Gordon Soley was the premier announcer at that time for all of TBS. So, and when Gordon Soley called that souffle, at the time, neither did I not know what that. I didn't know what it meant per se, but I knew what it was because he always said it when someone hit a souffle. So I like to pay homage to Gordon Soley, who probably a lot of the fans today don't even have a clue, who Gordon Soley is, because they don't even, they don't know their history of wrestling. They probably know as far back as to the Stone Cold and The Rock.
Exactly. I mean,
because we're dealing with that. Yeah, we're dealing with that audience today. People who came in during the Attitude Era, so they don't know nothing about Gordon Soley. They don't know what he's contributed, and they don't. So therefore, they wouldn't understand the homage that Pope pays every time he's on the microphone doing commentary, and Bobby Lashley is that standing vertical souffle. So that's why I do that.
I remember Golden Soley very well. I guess the closest connection fans would have today would be Jim Ross to that lineage, but very well missed, and sadly a lot of fans won't ever experience that. Last few questions. Maybe you can. I read something somewhere, and maybe you can tell me whether I'm right or not. But it was reported that you achieved your degree in criminal justice.
Yes, I did that during my previous stint with TNA.
Okay.
And I started back on it while I was with WWE.
So the question.
It was one of the things where I know I had a little sprain or something. I was on the sidelines with WWE, and I give credit. I don't not necessarily credit, but I definitely credit her and give her props because she inspired me and made me look at myself and go, well, what the heck am I doing? Here you have Mickie James up in the stands. You know, WWE Women's Champion, WWE Diva, up in the stands, doing work on a laptop. What you doing, girl? You know, and I'm in school trying to finish my degree. And, you know, Mickey had, she had done it all up to that point, and she still felt the need to go get a degree. And it made me look at myself, and I went, hey, man, what you thinking, Elijah? You ain't never finished your degree. You know, I went to the police academy. I graduated, went straight to corrections, got to a certified, got to the street, but you couldn't get got certified as a dual certification, but couldn't become an officer or have my own car until I finished my degree because we had a sheriff that raised the limitation to a 4-year degree. You know, certain places you don't have to have a degree to be a cop. But in Jacksonville, you had to have a degree. But so I had enrolled in college, and I just never, once I went to WWE, I was on to a new career. But Nikki James, to her credit, she inspired me, and I went back and said, hey, I got all these credits sitting down, at the college. Let me get up. Let me do something while I'm on the sideline here and I'm not being used. And even when I started being used, and even when I started traveling around the world again with TNA, I remember being in Paris, while everybody was out in Paris. Pope is in his hotel room doing his work. Pope is on the train ride doing his work, man. And I wanted to go back and finish what I started. And that's what I did. Thanks to the big men upstairs, that's what I did.
How do you think it's helped to set you up for the future after wrestling?
Well, that goes a number of ways. I don't look to be done with wrestling for at least another, 8-10 years.
Okay, so that's a long way away.
That's give or take. But the thing is, it's just great to have your papers. I told this to Vince Russo on his Screwed interview, I believe it's called. It's great to have your papers on your wall so that you know if something happens that, you're unable to continue forward in the career that you're in, you can always go back. I can always go back. I can always go somewhere else if I choose to because I have that. So that's one of the things I tell the guys you're asking about what the scope, how was it different when I went back to OVW? I say, look, man, a lot of you guys have to understand that this may be your only WrestleMania moment. Mm-hmm. So when you guys go out there, on this big OVW Saturday Night Special show, enjoy it. Have fun with it. But you guys be sure to get your freaking degree. I always have a fallback plan. And thankfully, again, to the big guy upstairs, I've made arrangements. I've made plans. I've invested wise. That's why I was able to take some time off and be okay and do a couple of independent shots here and there. Over the course of my 12 years, I can still count the number of independent shows I've done. Probably on one hand. I love doing independent shows. I love doing independent shows. Let me reiterate that. I love them because they're so intimate, they're so fun, they're so up close, and personal. But at the same time, if those never happen or if I never get the opportunity to do that, I'm good. I'm good at that. It's always been hard doing those for me specifically speaking because I didn't start on the indies. I started with WWE. I didn't do any indie shots. I started with WWE. From OVW to WWE. So therefore, when it comes to dealing with these shady promoters and folks who want to pay you to come in and be the person for entertainment and meet their families and ride you around, and it's just no, thank you. I'm good. I'm a business guy. You want to do business? Hit Pope up. Hit Pope up at Elijah Burke at AOL.com. Hit Pope up. So Because I'm not coming in to be someone's puppet. I'll come in and do business the right way, have fun. Make sure the audiences are entertained. Make sure they get the best things for their dollar. And Pope is out. I'll see you on the next go round.
What does the balance of 2015 and beyond have in store for Elijah Burke?
2015 and beyond. Well, Daddy, first off, Elijah Burke, we're going to talk about him later because it's all about Pope right now. But when it comes to Pope, man, we're smooth sailing right now. We got some big things planned with IMPACT Wrestling, Dixie Carter, John Gabork. They're all working on some very, very good stuff. And I'm happy to be a part of it. And I see myself going through 2015, obviously, into 16 to something greater, to something better. And I think TNA will sail in that same direction, obviously, because I'm aboard that ship. I believe right now, Pope Elijah Burke is in the hot seat, the commentary seat, for quite some time in the foreseeable future. However, for the fans that are worried, always questioning whether or not, when the return is going to happen, when I'm going to get back in the ring. Pope isn't retired, never been retired. I'll be back, and I'll be making, much like a Bound for Glory, albeit for a little while, I'll be making a lot more appearances, more than likely inside the TNA ring. Right now, I got some special stuff coming up. When you talk about Elijah Burke, I got some stuff coming up with my charity. My charity, the Love of Life charity, has been solidified as a 501c3 organization in the state of Florida. My big event is coming up the first Saturday of the new year, 2016. I believe it's Saturday the 3rd. I believe that's the date. I could be wrong. And what we do with the Love of Life charity is we come together and we feed, we clothe, we give hygienic products to the needy, to those who are homeless, to displaced families, staying in shelter, and we feed them Burger King. We feed them straight out of a Burger King restaurant. We feed them not out of a truck. We don't feed them cold sandwiches and cold salads, foggy salads. We feed these people actual Burger King. I'm talking about cheeseburgers, burgers, rib sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, and we give them desserts. We just want to take our time to acknowledge the fact that we understand that some folks have it harder than others, whether it's by their choice, by their own fault rather, or not. Whether it's by their fault or not. My charity, while it's still in its infancy, we're looking, we're growing, and we seek all the time the help of the community being social media. Anybody that wants to donate, we have, I constantly put out fillers about that. Just a dollar donation will help. I remember telling somebody I have over 5,000 friends on Facebook. I can't even add any more people. And if I could get just $1 from 5,000 people, can you imagine the difference that would make? So it's very hard in that aspect of me being Pope, this flamboyant character, to seek out and solicit help from others, because I think a lot of people go, oh, he's Pope, he got money, blah, blah, blah. But this is just a real good cause and a way to allow people to find the better them. When they can put $1 that they're going to throw away, $1 that they change they got just to donate, and help us feed, help us clothe, help us give hygienic products. I'm not going to go into it, but there's just so much we could do to help make this world a better place. And I always tell people to be the change that And all I'm trying to do is encourage them to do that, and that is to positively influence many people. Now, it's a Love Alive charity, which can be, for people who want to learn more about that, they can go to ElijahExpress.com to donate and to learn more about the Love Alive charity.
So, outside of your personal charity, which is incredible, and we're going to be sharing more about that, do you have anything else that you would like to share, encourage, promote, any way that fans can engage in conversation or chat with you?
Well, I don't know when you're going to post this, but again, I always try to do things to be community-driven. And when I say community-driven, that means interactive, period. Whether it's with my fans, whether it's just with normal people, with anybody. For instance, I have something coming up on October the 17th. We're literally a week away from it. I don't know when this airs or when this is written, but I have something on October the 17th in Orlando, Florida, where Pope holds something called the Fam Reunion. And it's something that I've done every year. This is our 7th year doing it, where people, wrestling fans, people alike, just come together in a very intimate setting with Pope. We get together and we spend a whole almost 12 hours together from sun up to sundown. This is not something that you have to pay for. You're not paying for a meet and greet. It's literally just you and Pope and other like-minded people getting together having fun. That's on October the 17th, so that's pretty cool. And also I mentioned that I'm going to be doing something special for Danny Davis at Ohio Valley Wrestling on November the 21st. I believe it's going to be the Danny Davis Memorial Cup. No, not a Memorial Cup. Hell, a high water. No, not that. He's not dead. It's Danny Davis Tag Team Cup. Let's just call it that. That's going to be held November 21st, and it's going to be at the Louisville Sluggers baseball park. And please send that to me first, and I'll send it to Elijah Burke, like you said, which would be great, so we can correct that if it's wrong. And if you don't want it out yet, because I haven't heard him mention it yet. And other than that, for anyone who wishes to book Pope, the Pope Elijah Burke, you can do so by emailing Elijah Bookings at AOL.com. You can follow me on Twitter at the Black Pope, DABLACK Pope, on Twitter, as well as follow me on Facebook at Facebook.com/Elijah Burke. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, man, we're hard at work. Myself, my partner, Josh Matthews, we're hard at work coming up with new innovative ideas, such as what many people experienced on the first Impact following Battle for Glory, which was a tremendous and awesome show. And again, we got big things coming. Can't really go into details about it, but I can assure you that 2016 is going to be a great time for fans of Pope as well as fans of Impact Wrestling.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Wrestling Post podcast with Mark Madison. We'll be back very soon with another great interview. You can always check our website, www.prowrestlingpost.com, for more content. Thank you, and see you next time.